Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Loyola University Chicago Stritch School of Medicine graduation program and ceremony. President Rooney, Provost Grievous, Dean Marzo of officers of the university, members of the faculty and administration, candidates for the degree of Doctor of Medicine. My name is James Mendez, and I am the Associate Dean for Student Affairs, and I'm honored to welcome you to the class of 2020 commencement of the Stritch School of Medicine. The Stritch class of 2020 is a very special class. They are thoughtful, caring, and more importantly, resilient. And they will go on to do great things representing the best of Loyola University Chicago. I'm pleased to introduce our first speaker, Sahan Godrati, president of the class of 2020 and candidate for the MD degree, who will deliver the class president's remarks. Sahan.
Thank you, Dean Mendez, and good afternoon to the Stritch class of 2020, to our treasured faculty and staff, and to the family and friends without whom none of us would be here. Thank you for welcoming me into your living rooms. I'm so excited to be able to share this day together, but I will admit it does feel a bit odd to be graduating during these uncertain times. In all seriousness and honesty, these past few months have been really difficult for so many of us. I think that goes without saying. Even writing this speech, something which normally would excite me and get the creative juices flowing, was painstaking at first. I have wanted for so long to deliver the perfect farewell address in an arena with all of our loved ones present, and the current circumstances had left me feeling deflated and uninspired. However, I had the privilege of reading some of the graduation messages that Stritch alumni wrote to us a few days early, and I totally lost it. I got emotional, which for anyone who knows me well, never happens. All of the messages are beautiful, but one in particular struck a chord. Dr. Chris Curry, who is now a practicing OB-GYN in Northern California and graduated from Stritch in 2009, said, "You were not trained for the challenges you read about. You were trained for the unknowns." As we sit here in 100 plus different places facing the unknown, I want to take a moment to reflect on what it means to be a Loyola physician. Of course, as always, I feel a little ridiculous that it's me talking right now and not one of my classmates who are all outstanding and whose stories all matter. But I'm going to talk about my experience, and I hope it resonates. And I hope you can be reminded of your story along the way. 4 short years ago, I showed up to Stritch for M1 orientation. I genuinely expected to be told there was a computer error in the admissions office, that I could help myself to the free lunch and then see myself out. I was petrified, but you wouldn't have been able to read it on my face. There's me with a couple friends at M1 orientation. For the folks at home, aka all of you, that's actually Saad. I'm Sahan. Last reminder. But my initial fear was replaced by a sense of belonging as I got to know these incredible people. My classmates are the best thing about these past 4 years of my life. Together, we experienced the whirlwind of M1 year, learning to gather a history and physical in PCM1, learning about whatever MCBG stands for, learning the structure of the human body from our powder puff halftime performers, not to mention the human anatomy we learned from our wonderful professors. Also during that time, as Americans struggled to reconcile differences that seemed more striking than ever, we as a class grappled with our differing backgrounds and identities. And I must say, I am so proud of the way that we have grown from that challenge. The diversity of our class has prepared us for the diversity of our patients and their communities. I'm so grateful to have learned from and alongside such a unique group of soon-to-be physicians. By the time second year began, we were welcomed by the starting 5 of the medical education dream team. This is when things really picked up. We often had 5 lectures per day. And as the course load piled on, I found myself less and less excited to get out of bed in the morning. It was a really low point for me personally. I remember feeling overwhelmed by the amount of information I had to learn, discouraged by how easy it seemed to be for everyone else, and terrified of showing up to the hospital in my white coat the following year and feeling like I hadn't retained anything. I found a way through this year by working to form stronger bonds in our class. And it was by getting to know my classmates better and hearing that they shared many of the same fears and struggles that I was able to walk into the hospital the following year and feel like I wasn't alone. So there was this test between second and third year that I'm going to go ahead and skim over. Third year arrived, and here we were, real life members of the medical team, white coats, stethoscopes, and all. We had prepared for this moment together, and not only in the classroom. We had already learned to work together as a team. We'd traveled abroad and learned from other cultures. We had started families of our own. We had supported one another in the face of uncertainty. We had experienced immense loss as a community. We did deeply miss Mandy and Victor. Their absence is felt today and every day. They both would have made phenomenal, caring, thoughtful, brilliant physicians. May their memory and the friendships we shared from them live on in our hearts and in our actions. When I look back to third year, there are a million vivid images that come to mind. We saw patients who were having the worst days of their lives. We saw the inescapable sorrow of people saying goodbye to their loved ones. We saw the unbridled joy of people saying hello to new members of the family. We called consults and quietly celebrated to ourselves when the phone call wasn't a total train wreck. We experienced the rush of a packed clinic day where it felt like we were witnessing every aspect of the human experience in the span of 8 hours. We formed unforgettable relationships with patients who taught us far more than they would ever realize. One patient, God bless her, told me I spoke really good English, to which I could only reply, thank you. We began to discover the beginnings of our own unique bedside manner, laying the foundation for our personalities as physicians. All of this was done under the instruction and guidance of Loyola faculty, who, without exaggeration, are the best doctors to learn from in the world. I can recall countless life-altering conversations with our physician mentors at Loyola, and I know you can too. I urge us all to remember the weight that their words carried when we were wide-eyed, innocent third-year students, and to approach your future students and residents with that same Loyola quality, no matter where you end up. These people are our professors because they want to be. They teach and practice medicine in a way that inspires, calls on us to look inward, and holds human dignity at the center of our principles. I will remember their lessons, and perhaps more importantly, how they made me feel for the rest of my career. To everyone who has been a part of these 4 years, our deans, faculty, staff, classmates, mentors, mentees, to the nurses who were incredibly kind to us, our patients' families, our families, our friends, our partners, thank you. 4 years ago, I was terrified of the unknown ahead. Today, I am eager, motivated, and concerned, but I'm not afraid. We were trained for the unknown. We were trained to be Loyola physicians, and that's something to celebrate. Congratulations, everyone. Just a few photos here of my classmates.
Let me unmute myself first. Thank you, Sahan, for those wonderful remarks. I am now pleased to introduce Alyssa Barsanik, Vice President of the Class of 2020 and candidate for the MD degree, who will introduce our keynote speaker. Alyssa?
Thanks, Dean Mendez. It is my honor to introduce our 2020 Medical School Commencement speaker, Dr. Oluwaferunmi Okunlami. Dr. Okunlami was born in Nigeria and immigrated to the United States as a young child. He settled in South Bend with his family before attending boarding school at Deerfield Academy in Massachusetts. He then was accepted into Stanford University to begin his college career. There, he led the track and field team as captain and was recognized as an academic All-American athlete. He then attended medical school at the University of Michigan. Upon graduating, he matched into an orthopedic surgery residency at Yale New Haven Hospital. During his third year of residency at Yale, Dr. Okunlami suffered an unexpected spinal cord injury that immediately paralyzed him from the neck down. Although Dr. Okunlami's future plans were derailed, his determination to make a difference in this world wasn't. While learning to walk again, Dr. Okunlami pursued a master's in engineering, science, and technology entrepreneurship from the University of Notre Dame. He was appointed by South Bend's mayor, Pete Buttigieg, to lead the county's Board of Health. He then completed a family medicine residency at Memorial Hospital in South Bend. In 2018, he joined the Family Medicine and Physical Medicine and Rehabilitation faculty at Michigan Medicine, and today he serves as Assistant Professor of Family Medicine and Physical Medicine and Rehabilitation. In addition, he served as the Director of Medical Student Programs in the Office for Health Equity and Inclusion for 2 years. And in 2019, he was presented with the Distinguished Early Career Alumni Award from the Michigan Medicine Alumni Society. He is also the Director of Adaptive Sports at Michigan Center for Human Athletic Medicine and Performance. And in his free time, is inspired by engineering new medical and assisted devices. In the process of finding the right speaker for our graduation ceremony, we were tasked with the great challenge of finding someone who reflected all the talents and motivations that our class desires to bring to the field of medicine. There is no doubt that Dr. Okunlami is a perfect role model, someone who faces successes and setbacks, glorious achievements and hardships, has been a student and a leader, a doctor and a patient, and above all, has embraced these roles with faith, joy, and a gratefulness for sharing a fulfilling life with everyone whom he meets. His unparalleled motivation to shape the future of medicine serves as an inspiration to us all. Please join me in welcoming our 2020 commencement speaker, Dr. Oluwaferunmi Okunlami.
Good afternoon, Loyola University Chicago Stritch School of Medicine, class of 2020. I first want to thank President Rooney, Provost Grivats, Deans Marzo and Mendez, Catherine, Jardine, Sahand, Alyssa, and the rest of the graduating class for this humbling invitation. For many reasons, it is an honor to be part of your virtual commencement ceremony today. Not only because it takes me back to my own white coat and commencement ceremonies at the University of Michigan, 13 and 9 years ago, respectively, and to my own keynote address at Central Michigan University College of Medicine white coat ceremony 2 years ago, but also because you have provided me with another very special opportunity. During my CMU address, I mentioned a conversation I'd had with another physician, where she spoke about the sacrifices one must make in order to embark on a career in medicine. The long hours studying and working, being away from friends and family, missing special events and important milestones. She had been unable to make it to her own son's white coat ceremony because she was on call that day. So her husband, also a physician, represented the pair and attended alone, as they often had to do, juggling 2 intensive care physician schedules. On the day of that speech, however, 3 years had passed since she lost her husband to suicide, robbing her of that partner to split events with. So it was then her turn to sit alone amongst a sea of other proud parents, watching her son deliver the keynote address at a white coat ceremony. Now today, A day before Mother's Day, during a time where this COVID-19 pandemic has exacerbated those same aforementioned sacrifices. Long hours working, being away from friends and family, and missing important events and milestones. This virtual commencement brings me back to the city where I did my own inpatient rehabilitation, experiencing the field of medicine from the other side of the stethoscope, as I like to say. During a time when even I questioned whether I would still be considered capable, competent, and qualified to pursue a career in medicine, as I lay there paralyzed in a hospital bed. Thinking of my time at the former Rehabilitation Institute of Chicago reminds me of the sacrifices my family and friends made to support me through that time. Most importantly, however, your flattering invitation has given my mother, who is hopefully watching the live stream from her home in Indiana, another opportunity to participate in a milestone event for me, which demonstrates that the hard work she and my father put in for so many years was not in vain. While choosing a career in medicine, especially in a time like this, will require sacrifice. At the end of the day, the impact you are making on the lives of others by doing so, and in turn, the impact other lives will have on you in the process, is immeasurable. So thank you, and happy early Mother's Day to my mom and every other mother out there. It should come as no surprise to say you are all entering this profession during a time unlike any other physician here has ever experienced. Later, we will recite the Hippocratic Oath together, and I would like to highlight 5 excerpts from that oath that I feel will resonate with you all. The most diverse class to matriculate to and graduate from Loyola University Chicago, Stritch School of Medicine. Before I proceed, however, it is important to understand what I mean when I refer to diversity. Diversity is not doing something for one group while excluding the other. Diversity is not valuing the experiences and contributions of one while discounting or discrediting another. Diversity is not about lowering standards, making quotas, or satisfying optics. Diversity is not for one group to the exclusion of all others. Diversity in medicine is a diversity of thought, of experience, and of opportunity, all of which add to the interconnected framework of this complicated profession you are about to enter. I often refer to my own complicated intersectional identity before launching into conversations about diversity. As confident as many people think I am, I have lived a life where I never quite knew where I belonged, possessing identities that made it difficult for people to put me in a box. I was an African child raised in America, a Black man living in suburbia and attending predominantly white institutions, a Christian who believed in evolution, and an all-American athlete with a passion for science, an orthopedic surgeon with good bedside manner, and now an individual paralyzed from a spinal cord injury who has regained some ability to walk. I have always felt like I had one wheel in one world and one foot in the other. But it is those identities that have served me best in my quest to create a healthcare system that is both inclusive of and accessible to all. Now for the excerpts from the Hippocratic Oath. Number 1, I will remember that there is an art to medicine, as well as science, and that warmth, sympathy, and understanding may outweigh the surgeon's knife or the chemist's drug. Especially during this pandemic, when at times it seems that the factual basis behind the science of medicine is questioned by many, you may be asking yourselves, what is it that we can add? Especially while you have been limited in your clinical rotations, where the future of clinical medicine and the role our learners will play remains uncertain. Do not forget that you have learned much more than the Krebs cycle, anatomy, pharmacology, and pathophysiology. You are all embarking on this transition between learner to lifelong learner and teacher. I had a patient encounter the other day where he had been given a diagnosis of visceral hypersensitivity. Essentially, he was having abdominal pain, which did not have a structural or physiologic cause, and others had made him feel like we were saying, it's all in your head. I conducted a video visit with him, and together we went over simple anatomy. This is where your liver is, your appendix, your spleen, and so on. There was absolutely no complicated, earth-shattering medical information that I provided him. But the fact that I took the time to listen to his concerns before teaching him something so simple to us gave him the information he felt he needed in order to feel comfortable understanding why multiple physicians had been telling him nothing is wrong with you. Number 2, I will not be ashamed to say I know not, nor will I fail to call on my colleagues when the skills of another are needed for a patient's recovery. We must first view our patients as human beings, full of wants and needs and desires and dislikes, just like we all have. We must eliminate the perception that physicians themselves must be perfect, infallible, unflappable, and virtually immortal. It drives a wedge between the doctor-patient relationship in a way that creates this us and them mentality that I would like to change. We are not any different than our patients, and certainly should not feel as though we are better than them either. We all have roles to play on this team, and each of those roles should be equally valued. We are simultaneously patients and providers at the same time, and this pandemic has shown us that we, as physicians, are not immune to the ailments that our patients suffer from. We also have our strengths and weaknesses, fears and insecurities, and there is just as much, if not more, wisdom that we can learn from our patients and from each other than we can impart on our patients. Having the humility to admit that should not be seen as weakness, but rather as strength. I do not often talk about this, so most people do not know that between step 1, step 2, and step 3, not a single one of my scores began with the number 2. And as if that weren't enough, my steps 3 score also did not begin with the letter P. That may be easy for me to disclose now from the position I am in, but I hope that we can create a culture in medicine that does not use a single metric to define one's sense of belonging, one's worth, or one's right to enter this hallowed profession. Number 3, I will remember that I do not treat a fever chart or cancerous growth, but a sick human being whose illness may affect the person's family and economic stability. Avoid referring to your patients as the appy in OR 5 or the diabetic in room 6. Nobody wants to be reduced to a number or a diagnosis, especially during these times where some of the messages people are hearing from our health systems give the impression that we are dehumanizing our decisions and allocating resources without taking into consideration the broader impact such decisions will have on. I remember feeling as though I was taking good care of my patients with disabilities while I was in orthopedic surgery residency. But it was not until I had to navigate my new world as an individual with a disability myself that I truly understood what the day-to-day life was like for an individual with a physical disability. I didn't necessarily know or even understand the importance of knowing how that person got out of bed in the morning, got dressed, ate, or arrived in our clinic. Did they do it by themselves? Did they need help? Did they drive, take a bus or a train? How many transfers did that take? These are just a few of the things that fall into the category of the social determinants of health that we have been now hearing so often. Which brings me to the next excerpt from the oath. Number 4, I will prevent disease whenever I can, for prevention is preferable to cure. COVID-19 has not created new health disparities. It has just acutely raised our awareness about them and the unfortunate results that will continue to be seen if we fail to acknowledge that our communities are only as healthy as their most vulnerable members. You all will be starting your careers during a time where we will need to make changes to the way we deliver care moving forward, if we hope to improve the health of all our communities. It reminds me of an old saying that suddenly came back to me recently. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. Saying that statement right now has so much more meaning than I ever thought it would have, hearing it years ago. I now think of that apple as access. Access to affordable housing, access to quality healthcare, access to a good education, access to healthy food, and the list goes on. Regardless of your chosen specialty, all of these things already impact your future patients. And doing what you can to prevent people from becoming our patients in the first place needs to be valued just as much as treating those who already are. And number 5, I will remember that I remain a member of society with special obligations to all my fellow human beings and those sound of mind and body, as well as the infirm. Remember that your classmates and future colleagues are also part of that very same society. While your political beliefs should have no bearing on how you deliver care or for whom, it is impossible to completely separate one's beliefs outside of the hospital with the way one interacts with those inside of it. When decisions are made that may disproportionately affect certain members of that society, I encourage you all to look beyond the impact it has on just you and your immediate families. You will soon be taking an oath that binds you to all of your fellow human beings, and you must not underestimate how much it means to someone to have you acknowledge that by speaking up as an ally, sending them a private message of support, or even just exchanging a simple knowing glance. Medicine needs you right now, more than ever. Everything you are and everything you have been, you must bring to the table. Your attendings need you, your patients need you, your colleagues need you, and the world needs you. You will not be the best physicians you can be unless you can be yourselves. That intersectionality that each one of you possesses will be the difference maker in a patient's life someday, and likely already has, even in these early years of your career, whether you know it already or not. Like me, your own experiences have shaped who you will continue to be and who you were before. I am not only a Nigerian American man and a person with a physical disability, I am also a son who lost his father to suicide, causing me to view the world in new ways now myself, as I do my best to be a good father to my 8-year-old son. All of these experiences have come into play in one way or another as I care for my patients. There is no one size fits all for any patient encounter, and you never know what it may be about your life that resonates with the patient in a way that you would have never imagined. Our profession has a privileged opportunity to change the conversation about diversity, equity, and inclusion, to demonstrate that it is for everyone, not just for underrepresented minorities, and that it is indispensable for a strong society. You have the unique opportunity to start disseminating that message right now. In order to better care for the populations that we will serve, we need to be working alongside individuals that actually represent those populations as well. But this does not mean that every patient with a disability needs to have a physician with a disability as well, or that every Black patient must be seen by a Black physician. But it does mean that every physician should know how to treat every patient in the best way. And sometimes that best education is not taught in the classroom. My colleagues who have patients with disabilities have opened up to me about the way their clinical practices have changed, merely because of the things they have learned by interacting with me socially. I wanted to end by reading a portion of my own residency application's personal statement that I incidentally came across while preparing this speech, which eerily foreshadowed what was to come in my own life. During a recent trip to Nigeria, I saw a man who must have been at least 40 years old, painfully making his way through a crowd with a limp, begging for food or money. After noticing his wooden crutches, I looked down at his feet to see what seemed to be the result of 40-odd years of walking on a rather impressive case of uncorrected clubfoot. I knew nothing more of the man's story, but considering the area I was in, my assumption was that he had never been given the opportunity to correct his condition, and was therefore subjected to a life where his physical abilities would forever be limited. My interest in the field of orthopedic surgery continued to grow the more I learned about clubfoot specifically and orthopedic surgery in general. I quickly realized what a difference the profession could make in the life of a patient, from restoring one's ability to use a limb after fracturing it in an accident, to providing a child with a chance to walk that he or she may not have otherwise had. Orthopedic surgeons are able to give people the opportunity to reach their potential. I now sit here in front of all of you today as an individual who, by all accounts, has exceeded what limited potential some people saw in me, either as a result of my race, ethnicity, age, immigrant status, or disability status. But let that serve as evidence to each and every one of you, evidence that you have everything you need to reach whatever potential lies ahead for you. With this MD comes great power, great privilege, and great responsibility. You will have plenty of opportunities to take advantage of those things to further your own needs. But I challenge you to use this opportunity to open doors for others that have been shut and build ramps to reach new heights that have previously been inaccessible. I wish I could be sending you off today in person, handing each of you a handwritten, personalized letter, reminding you of the specific qualities that make you capable, competent, and qualified to enter this profession, just like Dr. Nakai did when you all started. And just like I have lost colleagues to this COVID-19 pandemic, I know that you are all also moving on to the next stage of your careers without everyone who started with you 4 years ago. By no means does that mean that they were any less qualified than you, and I want this commencement ceremony to be just as much for them as it is for you. I look forward to watching all of the amazing things you will undoubtedly continue to accomplish. It has truly been an honor to share this moment with all of you. Thank you, congratulations, and God bless.
Thank you, Dr. Okunlami, for those very, very inspiring words. At this time, the candidates for the Doctor of Medicine degree will be presented. I would like to ask President Rooney and Dr. Marzo to award the degree of Doctor of Medicine to the members of the class of 2020. D. Marzo, Dr. Rooney.
Will the candidates for the Doctor of Medicine degree please stand if able? President Rooney, I have the pleasure of presenting to you the candidates for the degree of Doctor of Medicine. The candidates have fulfilled all the requirements for the degrees, and I recommend that the degrees be conferred upon them.
Candidates, upon the recommendation of the Dean of the School of Medicine and its faculty, and by the authority granted to Loyola University Chicago by the state of Illinois, and delegated to me by the Board of Trustees of this university, I confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Medicine for which you have been recommended. Congratulations, graduates. Well done.
Class of 2020, you may now move your tassel to the left side of your cap.
All right, that's wonderful. Congratulations, class of 2020. Dr. Marzo will now lead the graduating class in pledging the oath of Hippocrates. D. Marzo.
We now ask the graduates of the class of 2020
To do it. That's
recite the oath. I solemnly pledge myself to consecrate my life to the service of humanity. I will give to my teachers the respect and gratitude which is their due. I will practice my profession with conscience and dignity. The health of my patient will be my first consideration. I will respect the secrets that are confided in me. I will maintain, by all the means in my power, the honor and the noble traditions of the medical profession. My colleagues will be my brothers and sisters. I will not permit considerations of religion, nationality, race, party politics, or social distancing to intervene between my duty and my patient. I will maintain the utmost respect for human life from the time of conception, even under threat. I will not use my medical knowledge contrary to the laws of humanity. I make these promises solemnly, freely, and upon my honor.
Now the class of 2020 class board has a short presentation to offer. Class board.
Please join us in the procession of our graduates. These names that are included in this PowerPoint were names that everybody consented to agree to be included. And we like to name off now for the first time our fellow medical doctors. Dr. Cooper Gordon Aukus. Dr. Temitope Adetola Adeyaone. Dr. Rana Elkshake. Dr. Aaron Thomas Artillis. Dr. Awa Lem Ataga McCormick. Dr. Kyle William Bartelt. Dr. Tanisha Cheyenne Beebe. Dr. Peniel Bakuri. Dr. Michael S. Burtenthal. Dr. Richa Basine. Dr. Kyle Raj Bhatia. Dr. Amy May Till Beer. Dr. Jillian Michelle Black. Dr. Lauren Irene Bloomberg. Dr. Jack Scott Bonico. Dr. Elizabeth Susan Bruno. Dr. Laura Elizabeth Burns. Dr. Joseph Michael Canova. Dr. Monica Felice Ramos Castillo. Dr. Andy Chen. Dr. Matthew Chi Ki Chung. Dr. Stephen Chin. Dr. Francis Lawrence Holgado Coquin. Dr. Ariel Gala Cohen. Dr. Jacqueline T. Van Dang. Dr. Juliana Marie De Silva. Dr. Pablo Luis De Silva. Dr. Robin David. Dr. Bianca Adele DiChiaro. Dr. Dylan Joseph Douglas. Dr. Alejandra Duran Ariola. Dr. Taylor Ray Erickson. Dr. Andrea Desiree Escobar. Dr. Ria Brianna Eubanks. Dr. Christopher James Felicelli. Dr. David Falk Fine. Dr. Hannah Page Forte. Dr. Amanda Michelle Garza. Dr. Sahan Godrati. Dr. Matthew Samuel Gergis. Dr. Jose Rodrigo Gonzalez Correa. Dr. Nelly Gonzalez. Dr. David Patrick Grande. Dr. Richard Victor Green. Dr. Jacqueline Marcella Green Roper. Dr. Andrea Noel Grillini. Dr. Jonathan Hahn. Dr. Shalonda Renee Handy. Dr. Ariel Joy Holly. Dr. Byung Hoon Hun. Dr. Sabrina Quasi Imam. Dr. Sarah Iqbal. Dr. Dahlia Ishak. Dr. Michael Anthony Janiga. Dr. Naveen Abdullah Kanji. Dr. Brandon Carlos Karcher. Dr. Yosep Kim. Dr. Dina Kashawi. Dr. Matthew Robert Kroll. Dr. Rebecca Claire Landsman. Dr. Desmond Lamont Lane. Dr. Tammy Min Lay. Dr. Margot Larissa Bailey Leatherwood. Dr. Ryan Craig Leduc. Dr. Isaac Lee. Dr. Jenny Jihyung Lee.
Dr. Justin Lee. Dr. Katie Elizabeth Lichter. Dr. Sarah Elizabeth Lloyd. Dr. Sanchez Nicole Mabins. Dr. Giselle Elizabeth Karine Molina. Dr. Asha Abraham Mananchero. Dr. Aldo Eliel Martinez. Dr. Alexandra Lee Matthews. Dr. Jose Gabriel Estandian Matias. Dr. Samuel Cornell McCrimmons. Dr. Benjamin James McKinsey. Dr. Andia Mitri. Dr. Abdihakim Abdullahi Mohamud. Dr. Jasmine Takara Montgomery. Dr. Sarah Alicia Murayes. Dr. Stephen Aldrich Murata. Dr. Bria Michelle Murray. Dr. Margaret Ann Musso. Dr. Jamie Park Nealon. Dr. Christopher Harry Joseph Nye. Dr. Christian Robert Perez. Dr. Kayo Tanimoto Perley. Dr. David Allen Perlman. Dr. Taylor Ann Petrusevsky. Dr. Carl R. Pett.
Dr. Andrea Taylor Polito, Dr. Maria Shabir Punawala, Dr. Bas Poviang, Dr. Christian Russell Renz, Dr. Rashid Adebola Richards, Dr. Alexandria Marie Riopel, Dr. Deborah Kathleen Rose, Dr. Kimberly Ann Sable, Dr. Michael Bhagat Ramzi Sadek, Dr. Donna S. Safai, Dr. Sarah Ashley Santiago, Dr. Holly Marie Schaefer, Dr. Jennifer Eteen Shea, Dr. Saad Siddiqui, Dr. Shumika Simonis, Dr. Elizabeth Ann Southworth, Dr. John David Spencer, Dr. Megha Shrivastava, Dr. Conrad Stasiluk, Dr. Diamond Nicole Stevens, Dr. Catherine Patricia Swain, Dr. Emily Tatt, Dr. Weston Anthony Terrace, Dr. Grant McLeod Vandervoort, Dr. Mary Alyssa Barsanik, Dr. Olivia Jane Vetter, Dr. Karen Janina Villarroel Gomez, Dr. Adam Christopher Wadena, Dr. John Matheson Wagner, Dr. Amanda Temple Walborn, Dr. Luther Mason Walls, Dr. DeAndre Antonino Warren, Dr. Brittany Elizabeth Watchmaker, Dr. Grace Helene Wegerson, Dr. Patricia Rose Whiteside, Dr. Kyle Wishhouse, Dr. Jacqueline Lee Wood, Dr. Jonathan Jungsu Yun, Dr. Tianga Philip Zhang, Congratulations, everyone.
It is now my privilege to present Dr. Joanne Rooney, President of Loyola University Chicago, who will offer a few remarks and a final blessing. Dr. Rooney.
Thank you. I know that everyone joins me in wanting to say yet again, congratulations to our graduates and to everyone at the Stritch School of Medicine on this special occasion and what we can only describe as an unprecedented year. Dean Marzo, faculty, staff, families, friends, loved ones, and especially our new graduates, our new doctors. In any year, Commencement is a special event and an exciting day. It is a rite of passage steeped in history, marking a profound transition. It is always an emotion-filled ending, yet with a sense of an exciting and boundless possibilities. This year, however, what we have come to know as familiar yet unique for every class, this year is vastly different. Our celebration has to be virtual. Our exhilaration is still there, it should be. However, it's tempered by a sense of trepidation as the world faces the grief, anxiety, and uncertainty of the COVID-19 pandemic. Yet, though our exuberance may be softened just a bit, our resolve, your resolve, our new graduates, is certainly not. As students and now graduates of the Stritch School of Medicine, you are already engaged with the world and making a difference in it. Now, you go forth, as did the early Jesuits, in the face of multiple threats, to soothe a hurting world, to bring healing, comfort, and clarity in your actions, and to make a real difference in the lives of others. By the solemn oath that you took today and that you will live every day as a doctor, you have pledged to consecrate your lives to the service of humanity, maintaining the utmost of respect for every human life. That's a truly heroic commitment, especially in this chaotic time. But it's a commitment that inspires faith and gives hope. Hope not just to your patients, but frankly, to all of us. Yes, you're going for today in the midst of a global pandemic in which medicine and science must lead the way. And expert, compassionate medical professionals like each and every one of you are truly on the front line. You will not only serve and heal others, but you will add to the knowledge shared by those who have taught you how to engage with the world. Your teachers, your families, your patients, your friends, mentors, and yes, your communities. Though the opportunities for service woven into your training, you have worked directly with patients in need and on behalf of communities left behind. Many of you have participated in basic and clinical research that will help advance treatment and reduce suffering. And others of you have already helped to chart new courses and delivery approaches to infectious diseases, immunology, public health, and environmental health. All of you did this in a framework of education that continually reminds us, as did St. Ignatius, that the vibrancy of the human spirit is directly related to the health of the human body and the strength of our communities. Yes, you are prepared for whatever comes your way. I can only say to all of you, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We are honored and grateful for the gifts you have shared with us during your time with us. And now you get to share those gifts with the world. Typically, as I close, I offer a final gesture of respect and gratitude to each one of you. Today, it'll be a little different, but graduates of the Stritch School of Medicine of Loyola University, Chicago, I tip my virtual hat to you. And congratulations, everyone, once again. Now, our commencements at Loyola would not be the same if we didn't send all of our graduates off with a very special blessing. Normally, graduates, we would ask you to sit and have all of your friends and family, if they're able, extend a hand over you with this blessing. But today, I would like all of us to join together and recite this blessing wherever you are for each other. And this blessing starts, may God bless you and sustain you on this, your graduation day. May the creator of this vast universe keep you safe as you go forth from this place that has nourished your mind and your soul. May the Almighty look upon you and give you success in all your endeavors, courage in all your struggles and challenges, understanding in all that is new to you, wisdom to choose what is right and do what is good, perseverance in all you undertake, serenity and peace in the knowledge that you are not alone, that you are loved. May the Lord of all look kindly upon you this day and forever. Amen. And congratulations, graduates, you did it. Way to go, everyone. You look great, by the way.
This, and what Dr. Rooney said, concludes our ceremony today. Thank you all for attending. And once again, class of 2020, we're going to miss you. Congratulations.
Cheers, everyone.
Start the partying.
Congratulations. Time for celebration.
And you all have a curfew.